All right, guys, here we are with our debut episode of Peanuts, Popcorn, and CrackerJacks. It took me a little bit to figure out that name today, but I like it. That's what we're going to roll with this season. Quick shout out to my sponsors, Emily's Interiors, Lundgren Honda, and Platt's Landscaping. Without them, I wouldn't exist right now, so thank you guys. Very special episode. I think you guys saw my announcement last week. I linked up with the Worcester Bravehearts with my friend here. Tell me again, man, you told me 3 seconds ago, but you're the Director of Fan Experience and Media. Did I get it right?
Yes, that's correct. Director of Fan Experience and Media.
I love it. So I'm partnering up with the Bravehearts here this year. We got a huge announcement today. I think it's a great idea. Donnie wouldn't spill it to me until the last second. So fall noon today. Tell us all about it, Donnie.
Yeah, we had to keep it under wraps for a while because we didn't want it getting out to the public before we could release it. But what it is, basically, we're calling it the Home is Where the Hearts Is fan wall. So what that is, it's going to be a giant 90-foot wide, 12-foot tall mural where if you've ever been to our ballpark, you'll see in the right field fence, that's how long the right field fence is. It's a little bit elevated, a little bit taller than the other fences. Hold on, I'm actually going to shut this light off real quick. Can we edit that part out or something?
Nope, we're still live, man.
All right.
Look at we call it the beta podcast for a reason, and I committed to a 1-year beta period, so we're not serious yet.
That was a little too bright for my liking here with this light. Anyways,
I dig it.
Yeah, so we got a 90-foot by 12-foot wall, and if you've ever been to our field, you'll see the banner in our right field wall. And basically, what it is we're going to make it an art mural this year. So we're going to make it so you can put your face, you can put a family member's face, you can put your dog. We've actually got so far a couple dog submissions as well. Whatever you want, basically your face on that right field wall. And the reason we're doing it is, along with just the fan wall, we're also adding local businesses. And the reason for that is, look, everyone's been hit hard with the pandemic. Everyone's kind of been hit, whether it's restaurants, whether it's us at the Bravehearts, entertainment venues, children's venues, where even like daycares and things like that have gotten hit hard because, what's the use for daycares if everyone's home? And so businesses like that are staples of the community, staples of the Worcester community, we want to be able to expose them a little bit. And we had conversations with a lot of, sponsors, a lot of local businesses that have said, look, it's been tough the last 2 and 3 years. And so instead of saying, hey, we want $5,000 for a sign, we want $20,000 for a sign, whatever it is, we want to be able to say, hey, listen, you're a part of our community. You've sponsored us before. You've bought tickets from us before. Here's something from us. It's not much. It's a 2x2 logo, but it's something that say, hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate what you've done. And one thing that we've always said from the Bravehearts family is that once you're a part of the Bravehearts family, you're a part of the Bravehearts family for life. So, we have guys that played with us. Our new pitching coach that we just announced 2 weeks ago, Greg Stegani, he was a pitcher for us in 2015, 2016, moved on to West Liberty to become an assistant coach, and now he's back coaching with us in 2022. So, and we have a lot of examples like that, a lot of returning staff members, a lot of staff members who maybe intern for us 1 year and then go on, do a couple other things, 2-3 years down the road, they come back, they get hired full time. Like our staff, we have 5 or 6 current full-time staff members in our front office, and all of them are from Massachusetts. All of them are living in Massachusetts, have lived in Massachusetts before they got hired with the Bravehearts, and we like to keep it local. So I think that's a big reason why we're doing this wall too, is to kind of give back a little bit as much as we can to the community. And it's 2020 you. That's our big catchphrase this year. So
I love it.
It wouldn't be 2020 you unless we get the fans actually involved on the field. So this is our opportunity to say, hey, listen, you're not just watching from the stands. You're actually going to be on the field this year.
I dig it, man. I love the idea. Now, my question is, I'm sure you say it's just a 2x2, ad, but you're probably going to be throwing all those on social media. Again, even I'll put some out there on my site. We'll get you guys up there. So, yeah. Phenomenal. Now, my other question is it just for people from Worcester, or are we going to branch out? Because I'm very biased, man. I'm a known Worcester lover. But I guess we got to give some love to the outskirts too. Which
Yeah. So
what are the rules?
one thing you mentioned, so there are a couple rules. We say no catch because at the end of the day, there really isn't a catch. However, there are a couple standards that we're trying to go by. But one thing that is cool about the Worcester Wall, you mentioned that it's not just going to be that 2x2 thing. It's going to be the social media publicity, things like that. You're 100% correct. And one of the things that we are doing is everyone who is on the wall, whether it be a logo or whether it be your face, is actually going to be able to participate in our opening day ceremonies for the first game of the season.
Nice.
Along with that, we are also having every Sunday. So we usually do kids run the bases on Sunday. That's something that's been a staple for the Bravehearts since we came about in 2014, where every Sunday home game, we have a kids club Sunday. Kids get in for free every Sunday home game. That's a thing that's been around for a while as well. That's coming back. So 12 and under, you're a part of our kids club. You get into the game for free. On top of that, anyone who is on our wall will actually be able to be on the field and take pictures, selfies with themselves on the wall. They'll be able to go to the right field wall, find themselves on the wall, and they'll be able to take pictures on the field after the game. So that's a little bonus that we have for the fans who are on the wall. As for the rules of the wall, so we're actually partnering with Better Business Bureau as well. And the reason we're doing that is because they also are trying to promote their small businesses. They're also trying to promote not only small businesses, but self businesses, one-man bands where, some of their businesses that they work with are simply, people who just work for themselves. So we're trying to promote a lot of different communities when we're doing this. So the rules are, it says it in the press release that you have to be a business for at least 3 years. You have to be, you have to have I forgot how the actual wording goes, but basically you have to treat customers with respect. You have to, have a good history of working in business, and you have to be within the Central Mass community. So we're not, look, I love the franchises. I love, don't get me wrong. I love McDonald's. I go to McDonald's, but McDonald's isn't going to be on the wall,
Love it.
So we want to make sure it's local businesses. It's family owned, family run, family operated businesses. And as much as we love the big logos that support us, that's not what the wall is for. They'll have their time to shine other places. And we love a lot of our sponsors that work with us on separate projects. And we do a lot of great things in the community with those sponsors. But, we want to make it a Worcester wall. We want to make it a Central Mass based wall. So it's not just exclusively Worcester, because we do, we consider it a Central Mass community. There's so many people in the Holden area, the Shrewsbury area, Rutland's of the world, Dudley's, areas like that, Leicester's, where those are the towns that support us too, just as much as the Worcester community. So you will see a lot of logos and you will see a lot of faces from those different areas. However, I will say one of the submissions that we already got, which I don't know if it qualifies for the wall, but there's a baseball team in Worcester, England, and they submitted their logo. So Worcester, England is a supporter, and they're called the Worcester. It's the Worcester Sorcerers. That's what it is.
All right. Well, some international love don't hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So we'll support them one way or another. Probably won't be on the wall, but we'll give them some love. We'll watch a couple of their games. So the Worcester Sorcerer is definitely a name to keep an eye on, located in England. I
love it. Hey, we just gave him a shout right here, so you never know. All 14 of my viewers will give him a shout too. So, so let's get down to business. Yesterday, you had quite a task, and as you know, I'm a Colonel heavy podcast. I love South High. What happened yesterday? What were you up to?
So yesterday we had our Valentines Day promotion, and it's another kind of Bravehearts tradition, something that we like to do every year, where we actually bring the mascot, Jake the Lion, out into the community and we deliver Valentines, and we run a contest almost. So what you do is you submit your loved one's name. It could be a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, sister, brother, father, mother, whatever. And whoever you love, whoever you think deserves to get a Valentine's Day, you send us their information, where they work, where they're teaching at, what they're doing office work at, whatever the case may be. and we picked 10 winners 10 winners yesterday. And we actually brought the mascot out with a handler, and we delivered them a box of chocolates and a dozen roses with Herbert Berg Florist. We worked with them. We worked with the candy shop in Millbury. Again, two just very local sponsors that we like to work with on things like this. And we went to the community and we delivered flowers. And I had the honor of, I guess you can call it honor, of being in the Jake suit for those
events. I didn't want to blow it up. I didn't want to give it up. I wanted you to do that because I didn't. I'm assuming you're not always in the suit. There had to be a guest appearance, but that's phenomenal, man. I love the dedication because, baseball executives aren't really willing to get in the mascot suit usually. So kudos to you, man. And what would you deliver up to South High? It looked like it was more than one, but
I honestly do not remember the names. That's why I was in the suit. I'm terrible with names. So I said, look, I don't have to remember any of the names. Put me in that suit.
Incredible honesty on this podcast tonight. I love it. I love it, man. No, I think that's great. You guys are really for this community. I don't want to say the Woo Sox do a lot. I know they're in a different level than we are, but I think it's great. You guys are putting up a real good fight that the community needs right now after COVID and all that. We need everybody to get back together and get everybody on their feet, So kudos for that. I love being a part of it. And I'm going to help as much as I can. I'm excited for the season coming up there, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And that's what makes the Bravehearts the Bravehearts. We saw, like I said, it's 2020 you. That's our big campaign this year. And a big part of that is we're coming to you. With the Valentines Day deliveries, you're going to see a lot during the local Little League seasons, a lot of things like that, where we're going to be coming to parks. We're going to be basically bringing the show to you. We have our games, we have our shows that we like to put on for the fans, but the most important thing for us is that we're going out in the community. So 2022, it's all about you.
I love it. Absolutely love it, man. I know I've seen it. You're a Holy Name guy.
Yep.
What year did you graduate?
2016.
Was that the Ryan Brown era? Was he there when you were there? Was he before that?
That was before, I believe.
Did you play any sports there?
I played a little bit of baseball. I played football for a couple of years. I tried to play basketball. I'm too short. Not a great enough shooter, so that didn't really work out. And then my senior year, I actually had a 1-2 combo. I know it's like everyone's high school story, like, oh, I would have went pro if I didn't tear my ACL or throw my arm out. But it was like a 3-month span where I actually broke my wrist and then came down with mono, actually. So it was rough little like 3-4 month stretch. And by then I was like, yep, I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things now. So it was tough, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have went anywhere, even if that didn't happen. So
I get it, man. I get it. Hey, you went somewhere, man. You're on the screen tonight. I'll tell you, you're in a good spot. I love it. How was it working in the same town that you grew up in? I mean, you must love your job right now.
So what's really interesting about this whole kind of how it went into fruition is I was born and raised in Worcester, obviously, till I was about 18 years old. And then I went to Suffolk University in Boston. Now, I didn't really like to come home much. I kind of wanted to explore a little bit out, get out in the world, try to live on my own, be independent. And I kind of missed the whole, they call it like the Worcester Renaissance, I guess you could say. Like, I missed the 4 or 5 years that were like when Worcester was like supposed to be coming up, So all of these like crazy local bakeries and these coffee shops and these restaurants that have just popped up in the last 4 or 5 years, I really didn't know anything about until I came back, which was right after COVID. I actually, I tell people this all the time, it's a blessing in disguise, because when COVID first hit, I was looking at jobs within the NFL. I had a couple offers, the NBA. I was supposed to work professionally, and I had an internship at the time during COVID with the Boston Celtics doing live events. And then COVID just kind of came in and blew everything up, and that was kind of how the world worked. And so many people in sports lost their jobs. And for about a year, I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I had worked for the Bravehearts every summer. From 2017, I started off as the press box intern. So 2017, I got to broadcast a couple games, but for the most part, stayed just, stat running, camera work, stuff like that. 2018, 2019, I was a broadcaster. 2020, so 3 months after this pandemic starts, I get a call from our GM, Dave Peterson. He's like, we're going to play baseball this summer. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, you're not. What are you talking about? It's June. The pandemic started 3 months ago. Everyone's canceling. The MLB didn't play at the start. The NECBL canceled. The Cape Cod Baseball League canceled. Like, we're not playing baseball. And he's like, nope, we're going to get it done. We're going to do it safely. So we actually did have a season in 2020. We played at Doyle Field in Leominster because we weren't able to play in Worcester.
Legendary.
And yeah, kind of a blessing in disguise too. It's a public park, so there weren't fans allowed in Massachusetts. However, when you play at a public park, you can't deny people access. So if someone's happened to be passing by and they wanted to sit and watch a baseball game, we couldn't tell them no. So we had fans in 2020. Fast forward a little bit longer, still kind of looking for full-time positions elsewhere. And then 2021 comes and our GM, Dave Peterson, calls me back. He's like, listen, man, like, I got a spot for you. I got, a position you might really like. So ended up working last season as the director of productions, doing a lot of broadcast stuff. And then as the season kind of transitioned, my role transitioned as well to a lot more entertainment stuff, a lot more business stuff as well, the business side of baseball, which I never really got to dive into. So that's kind of how that started. And that's why I'm here. And honestly, I love it. Like I said, blessing in disguise, the fact that I get to work with my community, a lot of people that I was close with growing up. And on top of that, I kind of know the landscape. I know the area. That's kind of cool to see. And I'm in charge of a lot of things, which is cool for me personally to kind of develop my career in the sports industry. A lot of people say, it's nice to chase those logos, and it's true. Like, don't get me wrong. I loved working for Celtics, loved working for, I still do the Bruins part-time, things like that. But, with my position with the Bravehearts, I'm able to tackle a lot of things I wouldn't necessarily be in control, things you need like 15 or 20 years of experience to do when you're in the NBA and NHL level. So it's cool to see. And it's definitely cool to see how the Worcester community kind of turns out for things like this, because it really is. I mean, it too. It's a tight-knit community. So it's pretty awesome on that end.
Yep. That's fantastic, man. I'll tell you. That's a path right there. You're well-rounded. The only thing I didn't mention was football that you work for. We got Bruins, Celtics, now you're in baseball. So,
well, I did a year at the Mass Pirates too, so I checked that off.
To the Mass Pirates, our champions this year. I love it. Yep. We're trying to get Jawad on here. Like I told you, I'm friends with AJ. He's my co-host on Wednesday night, so we're gonna really spotlight them too. It's a shame, man, and I'm guilty. I didn't get to their games until the semifinal game, and it was phenomenal to watch. I mean, I was up close. But we got to get, the teams in this community a little bump, man, because we're all doing well. I mean, we're winning. It's phenomenal.
We had a nice promotion with the Mass Pirates last year where if you bought a ticket, we partnered with them during our Nesson game. So we were on Nesson last year for a Saturday game in July. And we had a nice partnership with them that said, if you bought a ticket to their game, you would get into our game for free. And so we got to offer that as a Worcester Sports Showcase Saturday where people would go to our game, and we had a separate promotion that said if you brought a sign and so you could hold it up to be on TV, Nesson, you get a free hot dog. So if you bought one ticket to a Pirates game, you would get a Pirates ticket, a Bravehearts ticket, and if you brought a sign with that, you got a free hot dog too, maybe a chance to be on TV. So not many better deals in sports than that.
Phenomenal, man. So we just talked about Holy Name. We talked about announcing. Tell me about my man, Rodney Ladioto. He's in the family. He's the one. Thank you. Shout to Rodney. He hooked us up. The link was phenomenal. Rodney is one of the best human beings I've ever met in my entire life. You guys have made a great decision there. Believe that.
Rodney's great.
Phenomenal. He's caught up in Ivy League announcing. He's literally everywhere. So shout to Rodney. Tell me how that happened.
Yeah, we're lucky we scooped Rodney up when he did, because he's got a lot of stuff going on right now, so I didn't really want to lose my chance there. Yep. But so me and Rodney met so I actually filled in for Rodney the first public address game I ever did. So I announced, I've done Holy Name, St. Paul, I've done Holy Cross with him as well, and then all the way up to even the Bravehearts and the Northeast Legion tournament with the Bravehearts. And it started because when I was a junior in high school, Rodney was supposed to do a playoff game. Something came up. He's got big things. It was probably some big college tournament or something he was doing, and so he couldn't do the Holy Name game. So our director, Jimmy Manzello, came up to me and he's like, "Hey, do you want to do this basketball game? Do you want to announce it? I know that's kind of what you want to do for a career. It might be a good time to get a head start." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I want to do it." And it was a women's basketball playoff game, and it was a blast. Like, I remember saying, "This is so awesome." And basketball still, honestly, I know I work for a baseball team. If you're talking PA, public address, basketball is my favorite sport to do because it's
Really?
constant action. It's constant. You get the deep and you can get into it and the crowd gets into it. And I was like, I love this. And so I got to thank Rodney for calling out that day, because I don't know if I'd ever get another opportunity if that didn't start it, because that started the relationship with Holy Name, which got me into the football games at Holy Name when he was doing the football games for Holy Cross. If he couldn't make it, I would do the football for Holy Name. And then when I got into college, I'm a freshman at Suffolk. I had experience prior doing PA, which, I mean, we're a Division III school. There weren't many kids that already had prior experience working in athletics as it was. And so I, right off the jump, my freshman year of college, was able to do some basketball games, some soccer games out at Suffolk. And so that kind of, continued that. And the relationship with Rodney kicked back off in 2018 when I started working for the Mass Pirates. And me, Rodney, and there's a couple other guys who kind of formed a nice little clique there. Jacques Lambert, AJ Price, and Maddie Lambert, and Matty Bartell. And all five of us kind of talked on a daily basis of how we can kind of make things better, not only with the Pirates, but in sports in general, and just kind of shared general sports knowledge. And Rodney was the best. He was the guy that was, I was under his wing. He was a guy that looked, kind of looked out for me because I was a young, whatever I was, 18, 19 years old at the time, working in sports. So he really looked out for me. And there were a couple scenarios where I really owe a lot to him. And, with his guidance and kind of everything in the sports world, he really helped me out on a lot of things. So we collabed there. We started working together again with the Worcester 78s because I ended up being named the director of game day operations with the 78s. And when Jocks was also involved, me and him both kind of talked, and we said, well, we know who our first call is. We know Rodney's doing this, So Rodney was the PA announcer there. We worked together again. Last year, we needed a few public address announcers to fill in for our previous public address announcer's spot. And again, Rodney was my first call, and it wasn't even close. It was like, I know this dude's going to be great. And he was very well received at the ballpark. A lot of people loved him. And I got to give a shout out to Brody, who was both our PA announcer and our on-field MC last year. And what we figured out was, honestly, it's a two-man job. It really is. We tried to implement a little bit of what we're doing this year in certain ways last year. And one of them was getting our public address announcer into the crowd and to try to, have them talk with the fans during the game. And you can actually physically see the PA announcer. It didn't work out as we hoped because I think it's a lot, it's a lot to keep up with. And when people want to have a conversation with you, we also notice that we're not giving the fans the full experience as well. If you keep having to interrupt someone and cut someone off that's trying to talk to you. So
Right.
Brody's still going to be back. Brody's great. He's going to be on the field this year. He's done that before in the past. So we're not really losing anyone, which is my favorite part of all this. And then Rodney's going to be in the booth and he's going to kill it doing that as well. So he was my first call. Like I said, we needed another person in the booth. I said, okay, I know just a guy. So that's how that started.
100%. Dude, he is just a good dude. I went to high school and he was one of the first people I encountered when I walked through that door, right? And I'm telling you, man, none of the people at that school were really that nice. And here comes Giant Rodney. And he's the nicest kid in the school, legit. Like, always, and he's not a hater. Like, he's not gonna not help you. Like, if there was another dude that walked in and maybe had a shot at getting his position, he's still gonna help the guy. Like, he don't care. He's a good dude. He just love it. And I love that he linked us. Rodney, I tried to get him on here tonight with us, but we'll have another show. We're gonna have plenty of shows. He'll be on our pod too. So we don't have details, guys, but I think I'm going to be doing the podcast live from the Bravehearts when the season starts. My man Donny here will be on. We're definitely going to have Rodney on. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know
Yeah,
what
man.
night. Well, like I said, we'll give you the details when it comes around, but baseball's back, man. I can't wait. Springtime. Now, let me know, do you guys have what is the relationship between you and the Woo Sox? Is there a relationship?
So I mean, look, with every sports team, we kind of we like to have relationships one way or another. They're a team in Worcester. So, like we said, like we would if we say that we don't support a team in Worcester, then we're kind of contradicting ourselves as it is. So we like to see every team succeed. We have relationships with the Worcester Railers too. We do a ticket to read program with them where if a student reads 10 books and they submit it to either the Worcester Bravehearts, it's actually tickettoread.net, but the Railers or the Bravehearts, they get a free ticket to both the Railers and the Bravehearts. I mentioned our partnerships with the Mass Pirates, how we like to do the Worcester Sports Showcase. As far as what the future holds, I don't know. But like I said, they're part of Worcester, they're part of the Worcester family too. So a lot of people ask, if they play in the same, they play the same sport as us. We consider it two completely different things because at the end of the day, the Mass Pirates play the same schedule as us, and no one really has said, hey, what's that going to be like for the Bravehearts on a Saturday night? So, it's the same. We consider it the same thing where we get it. We play on the same nights, but our product is very community focused. Our product is we have a lot more leniency to what we can do entertainment wise, where we can have players. And this goes back to the whole 2022 aspect. We can have players that actually go into the stands and talk to people during the games. We have players that can do a dizzy bat race. We have the You Choose the Rules game that's coming up, an exhibition game. We have the ability to make an exhibition game where we're actually going to have our fans choose the rules. And if we want to slime a player, because that was one of the rules that came up. If you strike out, you get slimed for that inning, right?
Yes.
So if we want to slime a player, then we can slime a player. And most of the time, we're not going to do it if the player doesn't want to do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just going to randomly slime a guy in the face. But a lot of the times, because they're college athletes and because it's Division III, Division II guys for the most part, these guys who, they may know that they're not making it professionally, but they want to be here because they want to play in front of 5,000 people. They want to play in front of 2,500 people a night. They're going to want to get slimed. They're going to want to do things for the fans. So, and I credit our players, I give all the credit in the world to our players because so many of them over the last 8 years have bought into who the Bravehearts are. And I think that's a huge part. We wouldn't be anywhere without them either. We talk about the fans and it's great, but the players, what they've done over the last 8 or 9 years has been tremendous because it's helped us out, the willingness to sign autographs, the willingness to, go out in the stands, talk to people, the willingness to do a pie eating contest. We had probably 7 players eat a pie, for as a race in last year's season. So things like that, where, I'm not going to say you don't get that other places, but it's a lot different trying to convince a Division III college kid to eat a pie than it is to try to convince a guy who's making, $250K.
Right. Right. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So I love that you're bringing up the players now. I got a horse in the race. I've been calling this kid out since he was born. LJ Keevan. Beast. I believe he goes tomorrow. I spoke with Josh earlier. He's starting his game tomorrow against Tulane, I believe. Mm-hmm. Give me your outlook on his season.
LJ was great for us. Last year, he was an all-star. He came in as a freshman, which you'll see a lot in the Futures League. One thing that's really cool about our league is that we accept incoming freshmen, so kids that are just finishing their high school season. It's something that the NECBL and something that the Cape Cod League does not do. So one thing that's really cool about the Futures League is you'll see guys, and we have a couple guys. I wish I could announce them. I can't. It's coming on Friday. But
I was gonna say, shout them all out. Shout them all out.
I know. I can't. We got a set media schedule that I kind of helped make. So I know me and Aaron, if he knows that I released this, he's gonna get a little upset at me. But we have kids that you will see from. I'll tease this. We got kids from Worcester high schools, so high schools within Worcester that you're going to see play this season for, your, whether it's Worcester Academies, your St. Paul's, your Doherty's, your schools like that, you're going to see them play their high school season. And then in the summer, you're going to see them on the Bravehearts. So it's really cool to kind of see that. And LJ was one of those guys where he came in from, I believe it was Wachusett, and, dominated in the high school level. And then he went to the
Exeter, I think.
But he's from Holden. But he dominated at that level, and then to come and see him pitch as a Worcester Braveheart, that's really awesome. And he took full advantage of it, was an all-star, gave it everything he had, was great in the locker room, and he's coming back this year. So that's definitely a win for us. He shined in the bullpen last year. Hopefully we can get a good amount of innings out of him, and hopefully he dominates again this year. He's a really good kid, and I know he's really excited to be back. So we'll be watching it closely tomorrow, or whenever he does pitch next. We'll definitely have that on. We have the Brave Cave in the office, and we got our
Brave Cave, huh? I like that.
That's what it's called. Yeah, we since we're owned by Creating Company, we actually work out of the same building as the catering company, and we're downstairs in the basement. So we made it our own little home. We call it the Brave Cave, and that's what we work out of. So we got a TV down there. We usually put on our guys when they're playing. So in the off season, this is actually a really fun time this next, call it, month or so, when we're first starting to see our guys play in the season. So we'll always have a game on, which makes the office work a little bit easier when you're watching baseball throughout your work day.
Love it. So you mentioned Wachusett. I got another buddy who had a Braveheart for a kid, Brennan Case.
Yep.
His dad was a beast for South High. So was Josh. Those are Colonel. That's why I'm bringing him to the table here. So, but Brennan Case, phenomenal athlete. I believe he's retired now for good from baseball. He had some back issues and that, but he did really well for them, man. That kid had a great career.
He was great. He was great for the Bravehearts. He was great collegiately. He's one of those guys too, just a real good guy. Someone you like to have in the locker room, someone you kind of want around, and he's a local kid and he embraced it. I think that's a big part of being a Braveheart. We've had guys from Worcester who completely embrace being a Braveheart. We've had guys that, not so much. They want to move on to bigger and better things. And, that's great. Like, all the more power to you. But the guys that we really appreciate, are guys like the LJs and the Brendans of the world that are, they really buy into it. And, one of my favorite Bravehearts of all time, I've said it on a couple podcasts, but Nick Martin, he's from Shrewsbury, a Division III kid, Westfield State kid. And he was on the team for 3 years, and he's someone that he was on the team for 3 years, Division III baseball player, not much taller than I am. And I'm only like 5'9". And, he still has the major league dream. He wants to go be in the major leagues, but he was never too big time for anyone. He was a great player and he was humble about it. And he loved playing for the Bravehearts. He had an edge to him, which, a lot of Worcester people do. So he kind of fit in with the brand. But, he's someone that absolutely every time he took the field, he embraced being a Worcester Braveheart. And that's the guys that we look for, guys that are so willing to sign autographs for kids, to participate in the summer camps, to participate in a lot of our community events. Like, that's the guys that we're looking for. So I think with the Bravehearts, you're going to see a lot of that this year. Not only guys who want to be on the field, but guys who want to participate in all the other cool things that we're doing around the area.
Love it. Hard work and humble people, man. I know LJ and Brendan, that's all they did was work at baseball. You know what I mean? Just a shout here to Josh too, man. Best basketball player I've ever seen in my life in boat shoes. I'm talking, he would have scored 30 in the league, but he went after baseball. He knows. I keep telling him it's time to give AJ the boats, man. The kid would be untouchable, But I love it, man. I love what we're doing here. Give me one player to watch other than those two that we just talked about for this season.
Oh, man.
We're going to get to them all.
Yeah, definitely. I'll stick with the returners for now because we've announced a few of them, but I'll give you two names to watch. One is Gavin Noriega. He's a first baseman for us, really has kind of developed over this second season that he's been in the team as the team captain. We had our first players meeting 2 weeks ago, I want to say last week, 2 weeks ago, and he was the first one to talk, to kind of give all the new guys an introduction as to what the Bravehearts are and to kind of show, what it's like to be on the Worcester Bravehearts. And he came on strong last year. he wasn't someone that played every day at the start of the season, really had to earn his spot. And then he absolutely lit it up in the end of the regular season, that final 2-week stretch into the playoffs, and was one of our best hitters. He's coming back. He's out of Marist, and he's one of those guys that I think could be a real power bat in the lineup. You'll see him a lot, first base, DH, and he'll had a lot of baseballs over that fan wall. So
that was going to be my next question. You knew somehow, because I'm all about the big play. I love touchdowns. I only, when I go to these games, I record offense, some defense, but baseball wise, I want to know who's crushing a ball. So that's the guy I'm going to watch this year.
Yeah, that's definitely you got your video camera out when Gavin Noriega is up, because he can hit a ball probably to the 50-yard line at that football field that is right over the right field wall. Might give a couple people some black eyes when he hits off the fan wall. Someone might get dinged in the nose, but he hits some screamers. So he's the guy to watch for. And then Joe Pesci, who is a name that Bravehearts fans will know for a long time. He played 3 years as well, but he played 2018, 2019, 2020, had shoulder surgery last year, so he wasn't able to play last season, but he's coming back from our 2020 season. And just another guy every year got better for us. Real lead by example guy, and someone who's probably going to be in the middle of our lineup, outfielder, guy that everyone in the clubhouse likes. Once again, kind of embraces who the Bravehearts are, and obviously loves it. He's back for his 4th year, so he definitely enjoys it as well. He's out of Franklin Pierce, and he's actually from Florida. So this is now 4 summers where he's really traveling from his hometown to go play baseball in Worcester. So it's pretty cool.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. So if a spot opens up and I can get Jose Canseco back in Worcester, does he have a chance? I'm trying.
I will say, if, he would have to enroll in college first. So we'll have to start there. That's the one thing where we can actually have an easy no if someone has to play for us. It's not about your talent. It's the fact that you're not actually currently enrolled in a college, which is one of our requirements. So that's our kind of get out of jail free card, if you will, when we just give someone an easy no.
There you go. We'll accept it. We'll accept it. Donny, great conversation tonight. Our future's bright with this pod, man, and the Bravehearts and the city of Worcester itself. I appreciate you coming through tonight. Anything you want to leave us with?
Submit those pictures. Get them into the fan wall. We got 500 spots. I'm hoping they go quick. So we got a lot of room to fill, and we don't have much time to do it in. So get those fan wall pictures in. You want to put your dog in there, put your dog in there. You want to put your son in there, put your son in there. You want to put your girlfriend in there, put your girlfriend in there. Do whatever you got to do. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be real cool. If you have a small business, you've been in business for a while in the Worcester area, you're part of the Worcester community, you're a Worcester local favorite, whatever, get your logo in there as well. We're going to put it in. So, this is what we like to do. We like to partner with local guys. Obviously, Mike, Shamrock Sports, this is great. This is why I like being on these podcasts, because, it's a real conversation. It's local, and it's something we're really excited about.
Appreciate that, my man. Shamrock Sports and the Bravehearts, 2020 U. That's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Donny, thank you again. Great conversation. I'll talk to you in about 3 minutes, but we'll end this one for now. Guys, till next time, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, Mike.